Shio Nagada, hello everyone, and welcome to the 69th episode of Red Hoop Talk, the Native News and Talk Show. Kimiguela Shimidi, Dagoda'a. My name is Kim Smith, Aya Ani Katua, and I'm a citizen of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And I'm coming to you tonight from Cherokee, North Carolina, the ancestral homelands of the Cherokee people. I will be your host for tonight's wonderful episode on reclaiming fashion. As you know, Red Hoop Talk is produced by the Association on American Indian Affairs, the oldest nonprofit serving Indian country. So on behalf of the association, welcome. Welcome to everyone joining us tonight. Be sure to give us a shout out and let us know where you are tuning in from. We do have a wonderful lineup of incredible guests tonight joining us to discuss Indigenous fashion and how it helps us stay close to culture. We will also be giving away a piece of art from the fashion show. So be sure to stay tuned and find out how to get your chance for that fashion piece. But first, I want to share with you a bit of Native news since we last came together. As we get to the end of October, Indian country advocates tend to bear arms and try to protect Indigenous cultures from disrespect that often come around the time of Halloween and Thanksgiving. 2021 has proven no different from years past. A couple of days ago, an Indigenous student in California posted a video that went viral, exposing their math teacher donning a construction paper feather headdress and proceeding to dance around and chant in what she described as Native culture. This is the second time in a matter of months that Indigenous students being attacked while at school has reached a national platform. This is why it is pertinent that the U.S. education system implements better curriculum to accurately promote and showcase cultures and traditions of our First Nations living and thriving on this continent. I encourage you all to reach out to your school system leaders and express your support for providing our youth with better understanding of how to relate with other people and how it's necessary to support and advocate for Indigenous people. Hello, Catherine and Pretty Shield. Thank you for joining us from Facebook. So now for a bit of more uplifting Native news. And for this story, I want to hear from you all. This is a how old were you when you found out story. So how old were you when you found out the real purpose for the hole in the middle of fry bread? Be sure to put your age and your stories in the comments. So as you all know, the powwow season is slowly coming to an end. And my daughters participated in their last powwow this past weekend in Tennessee. So at the end of the powwow, all the booths are packing up. I was helping my auntie with her fry bread booth. Shout out to Nikki Crisp and her Nikki's fry bread stand. She's one of the best fry bread makers around, I'm telling y'all. But she wanted to send us home with some of the leftover food. And I didn't want to be making multiple trips all the way to the car. I'm lazy like that. But I decided to gus it like from Cinderella. So I stacked everything up for one trip. So if you can imagine, I've got bowls of chili, containers of fry bread with strawberries and powdered sugar and all the fixings for tacos, and 2 drinks in my hand. Now the problem came when my auntie walked back out with one more piece of fry bread. I had no idea how I was going to carry that too. And so a light bulb flashed at that moment. So I figured out the fry bread hole is the perfect size to just slide over the drink straw. I know it may not originally be intended to be used that way, but I think it's definitely the best purpose for putting a hole in your fry bread. So I want to share with you all a picture of this with me with my fry bread. Quite funny. So check this out. So next season, when powwow season kicks back up in the spring, I want to see you all out there with your fry bread over your straws. So one last thing before we get into what y'all all came here for tonight, I want to make one more announcement about the upcoming 7th Annual Repatriation Conference hosted by the Association on American Indian Affairs. I like your comment, Pretty Shield. Sticks over fire. The conference will kick off on November 1st and continue with special events, networking sessions, and conference sessions until November 19th. So there's still time to register for the free scholarships So make sure after the show tonight, you guys scoot over to the association's website and register for a free scholarship to attend the 7th Annual Repatriation Conference with us. If you don't make it, we still will have registration available till Friday night by midnight. But again, the agenda is just chock full of incredible speakers and panelists and special events that you don't want to miss out on. If you're new to repatriation, we're even offering a basic 101 course so that you can get your feet wet and be able to be a part of the discussion throughout the conference. All right, so now for the goods of the show, what you guys have all come here for. Indigenous fashion has been a part of Native nations' cultures from the beginning, when it was utilized as a necessity and a demonstration of marital status and leadership roles. It's a source of awe and inspiration for many communities, and sadly, more often than not, it's been abused and manipulated for profit through cultural appropriation. So what a more fitting time than right now, before Halloween, to discuss how to respect Indigenous attire and how Native people are working to reclaim our fashion and reclaim our culture through clothing. So everyone out there in the audience, I just want to let you know that tonight, Red Hoop Talk is being taken over by the EBCI, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And I'm happy to introduce a few Cherokee aunties. So let me start with one of our first guests, a longtime friend of mine, Hope Huskey. Shio, Hope. You're muted still.
Of course I am. Shio Kim.
Shio. How are you doing?
I am doing okay for a Friday. It's been a very busy day for us. So
for you all in the audience, it's almost over, right? For you all in the audience, Hope is the associate director at Sequoia Funds. This is an organization that was created to help support business development in Cherokee and also community engagement. And so I'm going to add to the wonderful conversation tonight, Miss Tonya Carroll. Shio, Tonya.
Shio, Kim, and Hope.
So Tonya, right now, she's been spearheading programs at the Ray Kanslin Leadership Institute. It's a new organization that oversees leadership programs in the Cherokee community. Thank you so much, Tonya, for joining us tonight and all the work you guys have been doing so far. And for a special surprise for our audience, we were actually able to get one of the artists from the fashion show to join us tonight. So please give us a warm welcome to Miss Tara McCoy.
Shio,
Tara, thank you guys so much. I just have to pause and say I'm just loving the fact that there's 4 Cherokee Indigenous beautiful women on the show with me tonight. You guys are great. I love seeing this. But again, thank you all for coming on and giving your time to Red Hoop Talk and to Indian Country and talking about fashion and how you guys got involved in this work. So Hope, the mastermind of all things, want to kick that conversation off?
Sure. Mastermind is probably a strong word, but yeah. So Tonya and Tara and I have been sort of trying to build this sort of contemporary art scene with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians artists for several years now. And we kept hearing all this news out of Santa Fe. The fashion show was where it was at. So one day I was talking with one of my board members and he was like, come over to my house. I have a picture I want to show you. So I went up to his house and he had this really large picture of about 20 women, and it was from probably 1974. And it was a fashion show that they did in Cherokee. And it was so cool. It was like 1970s Indigenous fashions. They were wearing tons of leather and beads, and but like an evening dress kind of style. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And he was like, yeah, a bunch of ladies, they used to get together and have a fashion show in Cherokee. And I was like, why aren't we still doing that? And but I didn't think that I would do one. until Tara showed up on my doorstep one day. She is actually the real mastermind of ideas. I'm just a workhorse. And we were already doing a pottery festival. Tara is one of our EBCI potters. And so we had been working together along with Tonya on a pottery festival. She was like, let's do a fashion show. So it was kind of cool. Everything sort of came together all at once. And the next thing you know, we had a fashion show. And none of us knew anything about it. I've never even been to a fashion show. I don't know if Tonya or Tara have. But we were just like, we can do this. And we did 3 times.
Yeah.
Even through
Better
COVID.
and better.
Yeah. We've done it in person. We've done it virtually. But yeah, I mean, one of the reasons we've been able to do it is because we live in a community with so many people who assist us, so many artists who are willing to take the time out to participate, because it's asking a lot of people to make and design a bunch of clothing to show, to find models. And so, we've got this great support system that has enabled us to be able to do this successfully for several years now.
That's cool. So Hope, can you give the audience a little bit about you? Like, how did you come into Sequoia Fund? What's Sequoia Fund's role in the fashion show? What do you do for fun?
Sure. So Sequoia Fund is a native CDFI. Hopefully some of you folks have access to organizations like Sequoia Fund in your communities. We help people by giving them access to capital. So mainly for us, it's business lending capital. And one of the things we really discovered pretty early on in our existence was that our artists were eager to have business training. They wanted access to new markets, and they thought of themselves as business owners, that they were, which was really cool that they were already empowered in that sense. So I do a lot of work in the art community in Cherokee. I run a program called Authentically Cherokee, which helps promote and support EBCI artists. We have an e-commerce site, authenticallycherokee.com. And we do a lot of just training with our artists. And so my role kind of in Tara and Tonya and my threesome with doing these art markets is to try to help build the business skill sets of the artists who are participating.
And what do you do for fun? I know. So for everyone in the audience, I've known Hope for forever. We've been on a board together. She is one of the ladies out in the community, just always engaged in something. So it's hard for me not to see her in this work related setting, but she's actively involved in everything. So trying to get her to switch brains to fun stuff. She's like the rest of us. It's hard.
Well, I actually have a lot of fun with my work, so I'm very fortunate. I have a great job. I do get to do things like have fashion shows, but I have a 16-year-old daughter. I have 2 dogs, so that takes up quite a bit of my time. And I'm super excited. I just actually got accepted into Tara's program, the Right Path Leadership Program. So that's something that I'm going to be working on. It's a year-long program. And so that's kind of something I'm going to be doing in my spare time coming up.
Tara, you want to speak to that a little bit and talk about what that is, and give the world your background?
The Right Path program, it's been going on since 2011. Actually, Tonya and I were in the first program 2011, and it's been continued throughout the years, but with under another person, Juanita Wilson. Tonya and I didn't hook up with it again until like 2000. She did 2016, and then I came on board 2017. And so it's a leadership program that incorporates Cherokee culture and the language. But yeah, like Hope said, it's a year-long process. We just tried to cram a whole bunch of, education and awareness in it, and just try to make it great for our participants.
So then we've all been a part of Right Path, because I was a 2014 alum. So look
Cool.
at us.
That's pretty awesome.
So I didn't get the privilege of working with Tara under that program. I was under Juanita when she was overseeing it. So
I
yeah.
have a bad habit of, do programs or go out in public. I kind of count our Right Path participants.
It's nice to see. And I wonder how many people that participated in the fashion show have been a part of Right Path too. I know Kiana was one of the models, and she was a Right Path alum. She was in there with me.
Yeah. Trying to think. 4 or 5. Hope will be 6. Probably about 6.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So Tara, what do you do for fun? What do you do outside of your craft work and leadership work and
work, and then just do my art? I'm like a multi-artist, I guess. I do other things other than pottery, and I do shell work, some beading, and just some finger weaving. But yeah, I have 3 boys. They're 24, 23, 22, and 17. So, and then spend time with them, and ain't much, just go home and cook and clean, and if that sounds like fun. So, and put on these shows. I enjoy doing a lot of these shows with Hope and Tonya. I really enjoy seeing the creativity and the pieces that come from our artists.
Yeah, it's incredible to see the intelligence and the creativity of our enrolled members, for them to come together and be able to marry such a thing as clothing to culture, and finding incredible ways to tell stories like that. And they're so moving, the pieces. It's incredible. Well, Miss Tonya, you're left. It's your turn. Hot mic for you.
Okay. So I work with Tara at Ray Kinsland Leadership Institute. We have a youth program, a college undergraduate program, and her program's our adult program. And she came to us with the idea of doing a fashion show. And it was really inspiring because she, the way she pitched it was, we have beautiful people, we have talented people, and, we need that representation in our community. And it came at a time when more and more people were being seen wearing ribbon skirts or some of the Cherokee clothing from the 1700s as professional attire, or just out in the community in their everyday lives. And I think with people interested in doing that, and with the fashion show, with people being able to design custom fabric and to sew their own clothing, it really was just a perfect time for the event to happen. And like they said, this is our 3rd one. We try to involve everybody from the community that we can, and it's grown tremendously. But I think what it really does, it gives us a physical way to represent who we are as Eastern Band of Cherokee people, and just show off, that we have those talented people that can design clothing and fabric and can make this beautiful artwork at such a high level, and be able to compete in other art shows and just get their creativity out. And that's why I love doing it. I guess I kind of do it for fun also. I don't have any kids. I have a dog. I spend a lot of time with him. And then I just like to spend time with my family. I like to visit people out in the community. One thing we do at my job, but that I also do in my personal life, is just try to learn as much about our culture and history that I can. So I go and visit people. I've learned how to make white oak baskets from Louise Goins, who participates in some of our shows. And I really just enjoy doing that in my spare time.
Now, everybody in the audience, you have to understand these ladies here are incredible women, and Miss Tonya here seems to not give herself as much limelight as she should. correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you part of our royalty?
Yes. Oh gosh, I was our Miss Cherokee 2010. So a long time ago, but it's a great community too. I think it teaches a lot of skills, public speaking, being a good ambassador and representation of our tribe. You have to be able to talk to people about what it is to be Cherokee and what that means in a modern world, and that we're still here, and also battle, racism and, like you said, misrepresentation and things like that in a way that is, balance between, it's more on the education side, I guess, and instead of just getting angry about it and doing things on social media. But you have to kind of keep that ambassador hat on while you're doing it. And so just the education piece of it, I think, is really important. And I think it's also helped our youth become more interested. The people that run in the pageants, they're so creative and trying to come up with their traditional talent, and they even make a lot of their own clothing. And so that has contributed also to, the fashion show as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I enjoyed watching the most through the fashion show was the engagement of the youth. Like, I was an older adult before I started to actually really hone the craft of sewing. And these kids are out there now doing it. Like my daughters participated in the fashion show, and they're sewing their own stuff. And it's just exciting for me to see the youth get engaged this way. Like the society at large is battling with engaging our youth in activities away from electronics, and getting them to reconnect with an Indigenous communities is just another level of difficulty. And we have to overcome those. And you guys have found an amazing way to reconnect our younger audiences with culture and a craft that, they've not been exposed to or, willing normally to engage with. But I think it's that sense of pride that's really cool to see when they model their clothes, or when they're out wearing it in public, just to see their creations out there. So, Hope, would you like to share some of the photos of some of the beautiful craftsmanship and artwork that have come from this wonderful fashion show?
Sure, of course. So I pulled a couple photos from sort of the past few years for you guys. I don't have any of this year's as of right now. But a little bit later on, we'll tell you guys how you can see all of this year's looks. But yeah, so you want me to just kind of go through them a little bit, Kim?
Sure, yeah. Talk about them
cool?
and the impact they've had on the community. I know this piece here has been very popular.
Yeah, so I included this. This was our first year. It's the Cherokee Syllabary. This is one of our professional clothing makers in the community, Nancy Maney. She owns a business called So Salagi. And the very first year, she was like, I want fabric with a syllabary on it. So just to kind of show you guys the process, we did this digital file of it and then had it printed by a North Carolina located company called Spoonflower. And there she is with her fabric. She was super excited to get that first run. And these are some of the things she made with it. So, really looking at contemporary clothing and how it can, be a part of our tradition, I think what was important. The next year, we kind of evolved it, and we did the syllabary in different colors. So here's an example of it in our school, our Cherokee Braves colors. This is one of the youth that you guys were talking about. This is Kaylin, and she took a image of a Cherokee Phoenix newspaper and created fabric with it. So you don't have to be a graphic designer to participate in our show. You just sort of have to have a good idea, and you can make it happen. And she actually learned to sew through our 4-H program, which partnered with us on the show to help teach youth how to sew. Another kind of modern example, a lot of our designers like to incorporate designs that you would maybe find on our art pieces. So this is a basket design that was made into a long vest by Jody Bradley. She's a painter in the community. And here is an actual picture of a basket. So this is Tyra. She's our current Miss Cherokee, but prior to being Miss Cherokee, her mom, Christy, took a picture of a basket and just sort of enlarged it and put a filter on it, and we had fabric printed of that basket.
So just a quick shout out. Manuel is loving some of these pieces. So thank you, Manuel, for sharing and supporting.
Yeah, and they're really cool. We also encourage people to wear accessories that are locally made or to make your own accessories. Just like Tonya kind of mentioned with the pageants. So, here you see that Tyra has on earrings and a purse and moccasins. So during the fashion show, one of the ways that we are a little bit different than a traditional fashion show is, and this may be because we have some of Tonya's Miss Cherokee roots in us, but we actually have an MC who reads off what the person is wearing. So we make sure that the viewer of the fashion show knows the context of these materials and these accessories.
So it's an added layer of education as well.
Yeah, of course. This is a kind of an example of something more formal. This was based on a pot that Nancy from Sociology, that her mother, Louise Big Meat, made. And we just took a picture of the pot and had it worked on by a graphic designer. And Nancy sort of went through and picked out different colors she wanted. And then we had the fabric made. So it turned out really beautiful, I thought. And it's
a good way to pay homage to Louise Big McManey anyway. Like for our audience members, it's really incredible to see the growth of this fashion show because people are so intentional with their art. Like Louise Big McManey, she's one of our beloved women, and one of our sacred parts of our culture is our Cherokee beloved people. And these are individuals who have contributed their entire life to the betterment of Cherokee people. And so it's beautiful to see our artists taking into consideration the impact of these individuals and giving an homage sense to those individuals. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I think seeing her work reimagined, by her daughter in a different way, it is really cool as well. This is just kind of a fun fabric, so a lot of people just have a lot of fun with it. Dakota Brown took the image of her tattoo that an enrolled member, John Henry Glowin, had done for her of a ramp, and she put it on her fabric. A ramp is just one of our most popular foods in Cherokee. For those of you who may not know what it is.
So do you want to elaborate, Hope, on what a ramp is? Like what to correlate it to?
It's like it's in the oniony, garlicky family. It's a very pungent vegetable that you dig in the springtime. And in Cherokee, we like to eat it with like scrambled eggs or fried potatoes. And I mentioned that it's very pungent, so you always know when it's ramp season around Cherokee. A lot of people don't like their coworkers to bring ramps to work. But very
it's definitely good. Not an item you would want to eat if you're trying to snag you somebody, right?
No. It is definitely not.
Your first date.
Especially not off the boundary.
No.
Oh, the boundary people know, and they're like, all right.
Yeah, they might like it on. I'm not sure. It might get you a date. People know you got some good ramps. They'll come running.
At least for the weekend.
That's going to be my new perfume then.
Oh, gosh. Just another example. This was kind of cool. Dakota found this design when she was sort of looking through some of the archives at the museum. And we rarely have men participate, so I always like to kind of give a shout out whenever we do have a young man who gets talked into walking in the fashion show. It happens occasionally. And this was velvet, so he was extra brave. He wore a pink velvet shirt for us. It looked great on him, though. I actually loved it.
I like the pride in his face in that picture, too. Like,
yeah,
he's owning it. He is totally owning it.
And then this is kind of a modern take on a Road to Soko design, which it is a local Cherokee design that a lot of times is found on basket work, I believe. So Osh Stevens did this, and we've got sort of two different versions of it there. On the skirt, it's in its more traditional form, but then on the vest, we went in and did like a mirrored effect with the design. So to create something kind of new. So it's the same exact design. It's just sort of positioned in a new way. Yeah, so that's just a few of the things. Every year we usually have probably 30 to 40 outfits that are kind of custom. And then we also typically invite community members to walk as well. So this year we had our junior miss, our team miss, and our Miss Cherokee walk in their 17th century traditional wear. Or 1700s traditional wear, sorry. So just kind of a mix. We make it where anyone can participate as long as you have a desire to make or wear something.
It's really cool. Yeah, I love seeing the art as it grows. I'm super excited to see where the fashion show will be in 10 years. I know that this is slowly becoming a part of like the core of our community. And I know COVID was a scare for a while. Like, are we not going to have it? Are we going to be able to keep this going? Because honestly, I love it. I love being a part of it. I've done a couple of different pieces. My girls are really loving being able to find their artwork and take it to another level. So JD, I have to pull up JD's comment here because this is just too funny not to. JD's one of our frequent Red Hoop Talk viewers, and I just had to share this with everyone. Thank you, JD. Yeah, so I guess Native people have a different way of mating rituals. Bring on the fry bread grease and
that's another episode.
Yeah. That's another episode right there. Well, what I want to do now is I want to share with the audience a little sneak peek of the fashion show. I know we promised in our messaging that we would share with you all a little sneak peek, and then we'll have the ladies talk to you about how you can actually access the rest of the show, and we'll talk a little bit more about the marketplace. So here we go, y'all. So just a little teaser of it. There's plenty more where that came from, but you can kind of see that there's variation in what kind of outfits are presented throughout the show. Hope, would you like to talk a little bit more about, or Tonya or Terry, the one, talk about Buffalo Town?
I can talk about Buffalo Town. So Buffalo Town is a local design and clothing business that was created by Luke and Tabitha Swimmer. They're a married couple, and it is named after one of our Cherokee towns that his wife is from, Buffalo Town. And they create custom designs, Cherokee designs. They do a lot of sports team jerseys. And so we were fortunate enough for them to be a guest designer or guest artist on the show this year. They do mountain biking jerseys, T-shirts, stickers, and they've been around for several years, and they're very popular, not just in Cherokee, but I guess in Indian country. There's a lot of people out in Oklahoma I see wearing their clothing. Very talented family.
Yeah, and Hope or Terry, you want to talk about your guest artist and how that came about, and who you guys try to spotlight in those roles?
Yeah, we just tried to invite some of our guest seamstress, or someone that's kind of well known out there in the fashion world. And past couple of years, we've asked Kenny Glass, and he's out from Oklahoma, and so he's participated. And this year, we've asked Kelly Gonzalez, and so yeah, we just try to reach out, and try to bring somebody new, that's a little famous. So.
I think that's really cool that you guys are including more of Indian country into your work and being more intentional about supporting others as well.
Kelly Gonzalez. Sorry, I worked with the three guests this year, but Kelly, actually, she's from Oklahoma also, and she's a great artist and designer. She designs T-shirts as fundraisers to help people in our communities. And so we featured 3 fundraisers she's got going on with her T-shirts right now that help. The money goes directly to EBCI community members. So one's for Dean Hill, who's battling cancer. One is for Anaya Sampson. She's also battling cancer. And then one is for the family of Des Crow, his wife and daughter. He was a police officer in the community that passed away earlier this year and had a fiance and a young daughter. And so all the money that's raised in those fundraisers go to those families. And that was really important. And it's very kind of her to do that. She probably never even met the people that she's helping. And I just think that she does amazing work, and we wanted to feature that.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. See, I love how fashion shows in Indian country are like they're so much more. They're just that next level of community and connected. Yeah, that's awesome. So where do you guys see the fashion show going? Like, what's your pie in the sky? Your big dreams for where this could go?
We want to go to the top level. I mean, we just want to be out there and be able to, create awareness and educate. And we want to get some of our models, get them in the modeling business. And but yeah, get up there like top notch, like Santa Fe. That's where we want to go. Or me. So that's where I would like to see it to go. But I know we can. We got a lot of artists out there in the community that are very creative and awesome and create beautiful work. And so it's there, just try to help them and support them in whatever we can to hone their skills and bring out that creativity.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, one of the greatest things I feel like we've already achieved, and it's that almost everywhere I go now, I see someone wearing something that kind of originated from the fashion show, which is just really rewarding to see that it's had an impact on the community, and to see people really looking at wearing Cherokee clothing. And I think, Tonya kind of mentioned at the beginning how it just has incorporated so seamlessly into our modern day lives. It's very easy now to wear a Cherokee skirt to a business meeting, which is great, or just, out to have fun. So I love that aspect of it, and I can't wait to see more of that.
It's also a discussion starter. So I've wore ribbon skirts with material I've made from the fashion show, like so the material I make is intentional on having a statement. So I want my pieces to be a statement piece. So for the last show, I made one talking about all of the derogatory names that Indigenous people have been called, and how I wanted to reclaim who I am and who I call myself, and being Anikatu and being a part of our people. And so for me, when I go into business meetings outside of Cherokee, it's always been, oh, what's that? What is that? So it's a conversation starter as well. So it's helping, build a brand about the Cherokee people that's not the stereotypes we've lived with since colonialism.
One thing that I've seen just over the past few years is, we're very isolated from the rest of Indian country here in Western North Carolina, and all around us are communities that are made up of predominantly white people. And so I've seen it grow from people talking about, like, oh, should I wear my ribbon skirt to this neighboring city, to now they're confident in it and it's intentional. Like, I'm going to wear it here and I'm going to represent Cherokee at these other places, and being so unapologetic about it, that just seeing that in the last couple of years is just really wonderful, in terms of seeing our community grow and be more healthy and be more interested in, being proud of who they are.
So JD, I do not have a picture. So JD on YouTube asked for a picture. I do not have one readily available, but I can pull up in a minute a video of my daughter's piece from this year's show. I am beyond proud of her for what she's done with it. She's 11, and I swear I've created a mini activist, and it's getting out of my control. She's just passionate about being on the front lines of Indian country and representing for Indigenous women. And it's beautiful to see, but at the same time, it's like, she's 11 and she's able to craft her expression in such a wonderful way. But I'm going to share my screen and share with you all her video.
This is wearing fabric she designed herself, called All Children Matter.
Let me pause
this
it.
Is wearing fabric.
There we go. Minimize for a second. Gotta love technology. Here we go. No, I don't want to share. I share my screen. We'll get there. Here we go. And she wrote the piece that the MC is speaking to. So even in that essence, it's just incredible to see what the youth have really grown from the fashion show with.
She designed herself, called All Children Matter. According to Jasmine, this fabric is created to spread awareness about our stolen and murdered ancestors. As kids, they were ripped from their family and forced to go to boarding schools. Their culture taken from them, beaten, abused, starved, overworked every day. They were my age. I created this fabric in honor of those amazing, brave kids. So this fabric is no longer just fabric to me. It is an outfit I wear with pride. The shirt Jasmine is wearing has little moccasins on it to represent the kids at the schools. The shirt is in the shape of a heart to show her love for the kids that never made it home. As she rips away her shirt, she reveals a ribbon skirt to show that we are reclaiming our ancestors and our culture. On Jasmine's feet, she is wearing her great-great-grandmother's Little John's moccasins. Jasmine is also wearing jewelry from her great-grandmother, Frances Littlejohn, in honor of her survival out of boarding school. She carries her great-great-grandmother, Ruth Littlejohn's basket, to channel her strength when she had her daughter taken from her. Jasmine's clothing was made by her mother, Kimberly Smith.
So yeah, totally proud of her. Like she wrote the script herself and she handed it to me and was like, "Mom, just check over this and make sure that it's got all the right grammar. There's no typos, all of that." And I started reading it and I just started crying. I was like, "Oh, you get it, like the sense of need to be connected generationally and to acknowledge, the pain that's going through Indian country." It's just incredible to see that came from her experience with a fashion show. I don't know if there would have been another outlet she would have been able to express that through had it not been for the fashion show. So for that, I thank you ladies immensely. But JD, I'll work on getting out another copy of the past fabric that we've done. But yeah, so Hope, do you want to talk about the marketplace and how people can actually get access to this wonderful artwork you guys have been providing a platform for?
Sure. So this year is actually the first time, because we were virtual, we had the opportunity to do an online marketplace. So at our website, kananishki.com, you can watch the show. It's running all weekend long on our website. And you can also shop the marketplace, and several of the looks that you see shown are there. We also have some accessories. A few of the designers went ahead and made some home goods. So we've got some lamps and some pillows available as well with their fabric and their designs. Lots of face masks. And we have some Kananishki swag as well. All of the profits go to the artist, 100%. We did ask each artist to donate one item just to sort of support the show. So
no, one of the sad perks of living in the mountains. Hope, you're breaking up.
Have a great. Oh, sorry.
You're
You're super fortunate. We have a great sponsor, the Cherokee. Did you miss all of it?
Pretty much.
Just go to kananishki.com. And yeah, you'll see all that we have available to sell. And I was going to throw in a thank you to some of our sponsors, because we do have a great sponsor in the Cherokee Preservation Foundation. So just to give them a mention. But yeah, sorry, internet.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, I understand. I think we all understand.
I did tell my daughter has a friend over, and before we started, I said, stay off the internet. But I'm going to blame them.
I tell my kids the same thing, but I doubt that they actually listen. Like leaving them alone for an hour without technology, like I don't know if that's possible anymore. Well, I think it comes to the part of the show that everybody's been excited about. I know I'm super excited about this. So one of the things that I did this year was make a piece about our stolen sisters, our missing and murdered Indigenous women. And it was really something that was near and dear to my heart to give a platform for them and speak about Indian country is suffering from an epidemic that is not getting the light that it needs and the support that it needs to address it. Missing and murdered Indigenous women is a huge concern for me and other people in Indian country and our allies even that have learned about what's going on. We have one of the highest rates of abuse against Indigenous women as well. So it's all of this interconnecting issues that have really been weighing on me personally. And I wanted to use the platform that the fashion show provides to give a voice to that matter. And hopefully in some capacity, it's helping healing with that trauma and even the intergenerational trauma that MMIW is impacting on our youth and our community at large. So I want to let everyone know I have donated this beautiful piece to the organization to give away for any of the viewers. What we will be doing is selecting a random comment on our YouTube channel. So after the show ends our live broadcast, the post will go up on our YouTube page. So make sure you go check out our YouTube page, like it, subscribe to it, and leave a comment, and we'll randomly select a comment, and that person will be contacted to be the wonderful recipient of this piece here. So this is a little clutch bag that I made to donate to the show. I also donated the similar one to the fashion show for the marketplace as well. But I think it's a stunning way to acknowledge the women and the pain that has happened with our MMIW. And hopefully whoever receives this will love it as just as much as I have in creating it. And so again, go to our YouTube channel after the video goes post and leave a comment. Let us know about what you've liked about the show, what you see could be a possibility for the future of the fashion show, and any other comments you want to talk to these wonderful ladies about. Yeah, so that's the gift I'm giving to our fans and our viewers. Make sure you go to YouTube, share out how you can. I do want to say thank you to you wonderful ladies for joining us today. I also want to brag and let you all know that you have reached all across Indian country, from coast to coast. We've had people from Southern California to Black Hills to Texas. And I'm sure there's been some natives from Cherokee online watching too, but just let you guys know you've done a wonderful job taking the fashion show to the next level and putting it on a national platform. And hopefully in the future, it'll continue to grow. And maybe one day we'll be like Tara's Desires and be competing with Santa Fe and the Southwest. You'll have a throwdown, a battle of the fashion show. We meet in the middle in Oklahoma.
No, thank you for having us.
Not a problem. Anything else you guys want to say? Anything burning that you want to share with the world?
Just go check it out, and it's something that you can do too. There's websites out there for you to design your own fabric and create something that you want to wear. So check that out too.
Awesome. Well, again, ladies, thank you. And we're actually coming in under an hour. I'm kind of proud. Like, we started on time. We're ending early. Like, what is this? This is Indian country. That's not how it's supposed to work. We got through it relatively well, too. Well, again, thank you, ladies. One last promo for the 7th Annual Repatriation Conference hosted by the Association on American Indian Affairs. Once these videos go post, we will put up a link for you all to see the access to where you can go to apply for that scholarship. Make sure you do. I told you in the beginning, I want to send your booties over to the association's page and be a part of that repatriation conference. I will now close this out again. Shki Nagada. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and we'll see you next time, November 19th, for an episode about the repatriation conference. Thank you all again, and we will see you next time.